Hey guys, it's Bear. It is still Monday, May 20th, 2019. I have the room to myself for at least another hour or so before my roommate gets back. So I'm taking that opportunity to go ahead and knock out a couple of videos and answer some questions about going through basic military training and being in the Air Force as an openly trans person. So this is the second video out of I don't know how many I'll end up making. So another pair of questions that I've gotten that I want to address are what was the most difficult part of basic training, and was there anything that I wish I had prepared for or that I wasn't ready for? So again, these are very me-specific questions that I don't know if my answer will help other people, but I'll give it to you anyway. For me, the most difficult part of basic training was by far like dealing with other people, and I was really disappointed in that reaction because I consider myself an extrovert, and I thought that I was pretty good at getting along with other people, especially based on just like, you know, previous like job experiences, martial arts. You know, I always kind of come in and, you know, I don't have a problem like getting along with other people for the most part. Of course, every group there's going to be someone you don't get along with or whatever. But man, being in a group of 52 people and living with them day in and day out for 8.5 weeks, you can really get on each other's nerves, you know, and I certainly know that I got on a couple of other people's nerves. As time went on and we adjusted to each other, that kind of slides and changes. So there were people that like I just was like, man, you rub me the wrong way and I can't get away from you. And then there's other people that like you kind of like adjust to and become more friendly with, and then there's other people that you thought you were going to be cool with and they just completely end up being like, I don't even want to deal with you. But the hardest thing about all of that is that you're stuck together 24/7. There's no getting away from each other, and you have no other way of like venting or blowing off steam, or like just finding a place for like privacy. When you're living in a dorm situation, and this is like we're talking about 2 big open bays, there's just nowhere to go, you know. And in the evenings, like when you did have like about an hour of kind of like downtime, people would get really, really loud, and that's when I kind of like would just be like, man, I just wish that I had someplace to go to kind of like just kind of have some quiet time, and you're not gonna get that. So if you're going in or whatever, like be ready for that, I guess. But as far as like what was the most difficult part, that's gonna be different for everybody. I saw some other people really struggling with maintaining like their living area, and really having a hard time adjusting to meeting and maintaining like certain standards. Like you know, I'm sure people are aware of this, but you have to have like your socks folded a certain way, and if you're used to doing your socks, you know, like a normal person, and then having to go in and be like, no, it has to be perfect, it has to look exactly like that, or you're gonna fail an inspection. That was really hard for a couple people to adjust to, you know. The environment of being sort of like pushed all the time was difficult for some people. That didn't really bother me. Like getting told to hurry up and move, like for me that's like, okay, you're giving me a challenge right now, and I'm gonna almost see it like a game. Like you've got 10 minutes to get undressed, in the shower, out of the shower, redressed, and have your night display hung up. You've got 10 minutes to get that achieved. That to me is like a game. That's like exciting. Like, let me see if I can like beat this game. And for other people, it was like this really stressful thing, you know. And then for other people, the PT was really, really hard. And again, for me, like that was fun. I really enjoyed that. In fact, now here in tech school, we don't do daily PT, and it's a little bit more up to you to keep your, you know, your standards, your physical standards and your weight down and everything. It's up to you, and I don't enjoy that nearly as much as going out and training with a group of people. some people really struggled with that. One guy was like, I'm a computer geek. I've never gotten out from behind a computer. I've never done a push-up in my life. So that kind of goes into the next part of the video, which is, was there anything that I wish I had prepared for more? Maybe marching. It turns out that I'm not the world's greatest marcher. I had learned facing movements with my recruiter, with my DEP group. I wish that I had done more of that. And if I get to go do the RAP program, which is like the Recruiter's Assistance Program, where you go and you work with your recruiter or whatever, that's one thing that I would say to him is let's do a little bit more on that, because again, like I mentioned in the last video, you don't get a lot of time to make adjustments. There was a couple of times where I was a chow runner, and so you have to go at the beginning of every meal and tell the instructors running the chow hall or the DFAC, the dining facility in the Air Force. You have to tell them your group is ready to come in and whatever, and you have to do facing movements in front of them. And so I remember we had just learned how to do a certain facing movement, and I got up there and I did it in front of them, and I messed it up, and they were like, "Well, who taught you that?" And didn't we show you this? And you're like, "Yeah, an hour ago." And it's like, yeah, but you got shown, and you better learn it fast, and you better master it quick. So again, that's just the environment you're in. You're expected to really start maintaining certain standards, and learn very quickly. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that for me, I kind of wish that I had learned a little bit of that more in advance, because I struggled with it so much. But on the other hand, it's how there was no way for me to really know what I was going to struggle with. So it's a really kind of hard question to answer, and something that I've kind of pondered in the last day or two since people asked me to address these questions. So I think I'll leave it at that for this video, and go ahead and do a different video on the next kind of series of questions, which I can kind of wrap all into one response. So yeah, these are very me-specific answers, so I hope that it's helpful to anybody else, and it's not just me kind of rambling about my experience. And if you have other questions, or if this isn't 100% addressing your question, let me know and I'll try to clarify it more. But I'll see you in the next one.